Good day, viewers. Welcome to another episode of Face Off on Army Sport TV. I believe we all enjoyed the pilot edition that happened last week, where we have two speakers, Mr. Bashar Mohammed and Mr. Akriola Finolua. And we were talking about we will try to win the Champions League. And thanks to you at home, we know the winner of the pilot edition of Face Off. Mr. Bashar Mohammed won bested Mr. Akriola Finolua. Mr. Bashar Mohammed had 7 votes, Mr. Fin had 3 votes. And we have our 5 first voters, Mr. Olumide Godwin, Mr. Ayedogbon Oluwajenge, Ms. Fariloye Olayemi, Mr. Emmanuel Samuel, and Mr. Shehu Bolaji Sodiq. Please kindly send us a direct message on Instagram with your preferred network so we can credit you with your data. Thank you very much. And I would like to thank our sponsor, Mr. Ovie Matthew from Germany, Mr. John Okpara from the United States. So on today's show, I believe we are going to enjoy this too. We have Mr. Bashar Mohammed again on today's show because he won the last week and then he's coming back. And I have a wonderful lady also who is going to go against Mr. Bashar Mohammed. Her name is Miss Tobola Grace. My name is Adorite Melua and I'll be moderating this show once again. I hope we'll be getting to see each other more and more on this show. Thank you. So let's go to today's show. The topic of today's show is 3 top problems facing sports in Nigeria and the solution to this problem. I believe you guys are glued to your TV and then you guys are going to enjoy this debate. Now let's move to our guest, Mr. Bashar Mohammed. Congratulations once again on winning the pilot edition of Face Off. I can see you're on fire. So what do you have for us?
Hot,
okay.
Fire, ice, cold.
That's great. I believe we're enjoying him. He's giving us some, you know. So let's go to Mr. Obola Grace. What do you have for us?
I guess Mr. Bashar is already half butter. But anyways, enjoy. We're going to give you the best, definitely.
All right, let's hear from our guests what they have for us on today's show. Let's go on a commercial break, and when we are back, we'll say what we have for us on today's episode of Face Off. Thank you. Welcome back. Now we'll listen to our speaker what they have for us, and please kindly keep voting, and the first 5 voter of this show will also get the data of their preferred network. So Mr. Bashar Mohammed, our first speaker, what do you have for us?
Before I start, it will be hot.
Okay.
Now let me go into details of what we have to say today. My first 3 major problems are the problem of corruption, government involvement in sports, and lack of proper sport education. So to look into the solution of corruption, we need to set up an independent body to help us manage the affairs of the sporting industry. A body that is not corrupt, a body that is not partial or biased, which is ready to formulate the affairs forward. My second topic is the topic of government involvement in sports. It has to be limited because sports is an independent body that does not need involvement. Looking at FIFA now, does UN control FIFA? No, FIFA is independent on its own. So our sports industry needs to be independent on its own. And my last problem is the problem of lack of sport education. And we need to ensure that everybody have an understanding of sports in Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Bashar Mohammed. I believe we've noted what Mr. Bashar Mohammed has said to us, the problem and how he gave the solution to it. Now let's hear from our next guest, Ms. Tobola Grace.
First, the first thing I'd like to talk about is Europe's influence. That's a big problem for sports in Africa, Europe's influence. The next thing I would like to talk about is over-dependence on the government. Yeah, that's a major problem too. And the last problem for me, in my opinion, that I would like to talk about is fragmentation of, private clubs in Nigeria. Now, the solution to Europe's influence, I think it begins from us. We have to, encourage ourselves, like Yoruba will say, Onwanila, nonila. It's what you have that you cherish. You get, that's the point. So imagine that you are a Nigerian, you're clamoring for change in the sport industry. You don't know any club in the MPFL. You don't know the name of any player in the volleyball, national volleyball team. You don't know the name of any player in the national basketball team, and you're clamoring for change. You don't even follow any of their social media handles. How are we going to improve? Do you know how many followers Chelsea Football Club has on all of their social media handles. I mean, come on. Another thing I talked about was over dependence on the government. We are waiting on the government to do this, to do that, to do everything. Look, we need to begin to handle sport as a business. Chelsea, Manchester United, Real Madrid, Leicester City, PSG, whatever club, whatever sport, they handle it as a business, their own individual business. And we need to begin to do that. When we handle it as a business, we cut out government involvement. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And I believe we enjoyed Miss Grace too. These people are on fire, and I believe we've noted the problem they give it to and how they can be solved. And now we'll go to the commercial break, and when we are back, we'll see how they disagree and agree with each other on the solutions of this problem. As she has said, sports development begins from everybody, and I believe the Nigerian government will do something to this. Thank you. Welcome back. I believe you are with us, and then you are doing the needful. Keep voting and let us know the winner of this debate. I believe we are enjoying what they say to us, and now we'll go back to them. I don't believe they agree with all the top 3 problems they've given us. I don't think you two will agree. So let's hear from Mr. Bashir Mohammed. I don't believe you agree with Mr. Obolagris 100%.
It can never happen. It can never happen. So she said European influence or so, which I don't really see as a problem, because we have a blueprint. Sport was brought to us by who? Europeans. So they have their pattern that they give to us. We're not saying because we are Africa, we want to be unique and different. We should forget the foundation of sport. Does it make sense? It's going to be a problem. Adding to our problem, which is not meant to be so.
So, Mr. Bashir, wait, do you mean we don't have our own sport that we have in Africa? Do you mean we didn't invent any sport?
Well, you see, we invented some sports, but the sports that we invented have been modernized. As a Yoruba boy now, we used to fight emu.
Okay.
Now we have wrestling. It is a modernized form of wrestling that is now emu. Are you getting it now?
Miss Grace.
Wrestling was a sport before you were born. You're talking about Europe's influence. If you want to take up Europe's influence, like, okay, Europe brought sport to us, we must do it the way they are doing it. Why did you fight for independence? Hello? Why do you need independence? Why do you need to go out of Europe to stay on your own as a country?
But
anyways, I did not agree with your point on education. You say proper education, sport education.
Yes.
Do you know how many institutions are in Nigeria? All of those institutions, don't let me say how. Most of those institutions have departments called HKE or KHE, Human Kinetics, which specializes in sport. Do you know how many undergraduates and masters and postgraduates get churned out on a yearly basis? Colleges of education.
What do I mean by sport education?
Explain, what do you mean by sport education?
It's not about taking KHE.
Ma'am Grace and Mr. Bashir Mohammed, I can see you guys have enough for us, but because of our time, we need to go straight to the point. I can see you guys are ready. They are not agreeing with each other, and there's a lot of things they are going to disagree with each other. But in a short period of time, let us just, give us the point. What are the things you think is not right, and she can improve on? What are the things you think is not right about, and then we can, because we are trying to provide solutions to sporting problems, to the top problems in the sporting industry in Nigeria. Mr. Bashir Mohammed.
Start first. Things that I don't really get the question, please.
The point is, you guys we couldn't hear you very well. You guys are trying to, it's getting hot. So please just state it out and let's hear what do you think in our problems, the solution, what do you think is not right?
Okay, she said Europe influence, which I'm not buying that idea.
Okay.
So what can be done? Let's hear your opinion.
Okay. What can be done about the Europe influences?
Exactly.
We're looking at the blueprint and designing our blueprint. We don't have to be totally different. We have FIFA, we have UEFA, we have CAF. Different bodies, different rules, but all align with what? FIFA rules, which are the most essential rules. So we're trying now to build our own blueprint of sports.
Now, I did not talk about blueprint. I talk about Europe's influence.
Okay.
What gave them the influence? Now, when you talk about leadership, you talk about influence and leadership. Influence is what makes leadership. Why is Europe influential on us? You talk about their social media handles. You talk about the quality of their football infrastructure or sporting infrastructure. You have the Wembley Stadium and all of those things. You have the Old Trafford. You have Wembley and the likes. Now, we are talking about they are influenced. Why are they so influential? The kind of players they have.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I believe our people at home, you've picked a lot of things from what they said. Now let's go to Miss Grace. What can she say about Mr. Bashar's problem? What are the things you think he said that can be worked on? Because our people would like to know how the sporting industry can be improved in Nigeria and how we can also help them, because your solution will be taken on and then they will use it for something good.
Anyways, he talked about sport education. That was the first thing that caught my attention. I don't think we really have a problem with sport education. It is allowing those who are educated in sport to the position of leadership. That is the problem. So many people are educated. Yes.
No.
You are in the faculty of education and I know you are doing something related to sports. But when you graduate, will they employ you at NFF or Oyo State Sports Council or Legal State Sports Council? That is the question. It's not about education. It's about putting the right people in the right offices.
So what are the things that can be done? What are the things that can be done to that?
When you want to have a minister of health, the person is a doctor. Minister of petroleum, the person is an engineer. Minister of sports or whatever, let the person be a human kinetic specialist. Full stop.
Alright, thank you very much. Let's leave it to the viewers to judge this debate. This is a great one. They are ready to go more and more, but because of our time, we need to leave now. Thank you very much for viewing. And then follow our handle on Instagram, ArmySport_TV, and on Twitter, ArmySport_TV, and on Facebook, ArmySport_TV. I believe the names I mentioned at the beginning of this show, they've sent us a direct message. And then also the first viewer of this show will also get the preferred data, the preferred network, preferred data of their network. So please kindly send us a direct message on Instagram. And I would like to thank the sponsors of this show, Mr. Ovie Mati from Germany and Mr. John Okwara from United States. Thank you very much for sponsoring this show. And my name is Abiodun Temilolu Asama. And thanks to our guest speaker, they really entertained us on this episode of Face Off. Please kindly keep voting, and your voting ends on Sunday. So we will know this winner of this episode of Face Off, and then will be announced on this episode of Face Off. Thank you very much. I remain your humble host, Abiodun Temilolu. Goodbye.